to the Take Your Power Back show with Peak Performance Breakthrough Coach Kim Yater. Today's empowering program will encourage you to step into your power, to take action in your leadership, and allow your voice to be heard. Listen in today as we speak to other freedom-loving Americans that are making a positive impact in the world by standing in truth amid adversity. Learn how to take your power back in your freedom, in your personal and professional life, in technology and creativity, and in your faith. Be inspired, be encouraged, be transformed. Together, let's take your power back with our host, Peak Performance Breakthrough Coach, Kim Yater.
Well, hello, my freedom-loving patriots. Welcome to the Take Your Power Back show. I am telling you, you all are in for quite a treat today. I'm your host, Kim Yater, and this is your space. That's right. This is your space right here, right now, to reclaim your freedom, ignite your resilience, and take charge of your life in a world that's trying to pull you in every single direction. Squirrel here, squirrel there. Today, we're going to get focused. Today, we're going to get prepared. Today, we're diving into the heart of self-reliance. Now, I say self-reliance, it is God reliance and self-reliance because he provides us with what we need with an absolute powerhouse in the house today who is an expert in sustainable living, Marjory Wildcraft. She is the founder and CEO of the Grow Network and the visionary behind the Grow Your Own Groceries video series that empowered over 500,000 homesteaders, survivalists, and freedom-loving folks worldwide. Marjory's here to share her expertise on growing your food, thriving off-grid, and building a true life of independence. So buckle up, Buttercup, because this is about to be a game changer. Let's together take our power back. Marjory, welcome to the Take Your Power Back show.
Oh, thank you so much. What an incredible introduction, Kim. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're just a powerhouse. I'll tell you, especially today with what we're dealing with in the world, your message is a message that I don't even want to say we need to hear. I don't want to put us in scarcity. I don't want to put us in a, kind of a moving away from, but we get to hear this message to truly empower us today. So you are the trailblazer in the survival and preparedness movement. And your work with the Grow Network has truly inspired millions. So we're going to dive right in. My first question for you. Are you ready, Marjory?
Absolutely.
Okay, so why is it essential to grow your own food right now?
God, I got a bunch of reasons. Let's first start out that the entire commercial food supply is toxic. They're trying to kill you. The second is, here's 3 quick questions for you. Have you noticed the price of food increasing?
Oh, yeah.
Do you believe that the prices will continue to increase? And then the third one's a little bit trickier. Have you noticed that the prices are actually accelerating in their increases? And, look, we're in it. We're in that part where we start to get into the inflation and then the hyperinflation. You can't afford to eat. Currency collapse scenario. There's no other way around it. That's where we're going. And one of the biggest things that happens there is, quite frankly, a lot of people go very, very, very hungry because they can't afford to eat. Now, the incredible blessing in this situation is there is always a way. God always provides a way.
Always.
With your own hands in a small backyard space, you can grow beautiful, healthy, nutritious food, and you'll actually be healthier at the end of the day. And it doesn't take that long,
Come on, that's key. So let's get a little bit of background here. So how did you get started growing food, and what was it that sparked your passion for this movement?
Oh my gosh. If you'd have looked at me, 20 years ago, you'd say, no, we don't get it. I actually made my first million before I was 40. I was
Amazing. Congratulations.
Thanks. So, I was in the matrix. I was in the game. In the game is make a bunch of money, right? And I was winning. I was having a great time.
Yeah.
I had been a student of Robert Kiyosaki long before he was famous. And I built a real estate investment business in Austin, Texas, based on his teachings. And it was actually so successful. Robert said, "Hey, Marjorie, would you be on my infomercials?" And so for like 4 years, I'm on infomercials for Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And now you'd think, how does that translate into backyard food production? Well, I'm also, pretty civic minded, right? And I was volunteering on this little program that I had no idea it was going to be like the stage 4 cancer diagnosis or the Mack truck thing.
Yeah, yeah.
It was just this really innocent little project. We were going to try and get a friend of mine, Steve Bridges, was the president of the Texas Organic Farmers and Gardeners Association. We were going to try and get, locally grown organic food into the school system. Even though I was homeschooling my kids, I'm like, we got to do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that project was a complete failure. I will never forget the night that we all realized it. I had organized the venue for us. We were at a little town called Red Rock, Texas. We were in the community center there. And we realized that there were not enough farmers in all of Bastrop County, part of the vegetables for one small rural elementary school. And then suddenly it dawned on me, all those drives back and forth from Austin, there's no food growing out in the countryside. It's all the small family farms have been completely dismantled. There's only 4 days worth of food in the grocery store. Food travels on average about 1,500 miles to you. And at that point, I'm living in Texas and surrounded by 20 million people who are armed to the teeth. And I'm like, I physically, violently started shaking, and that shaking did not stop for hours.
Mm.
And I got it. I mean, the only thing that would go through my head was, farmers come from gardeners, and we have to completely rebuild the food supply from the ground up. And so basically, I dismantled the whole real estate business. Took so much flack from people, especially friends and family, like, Marjorie, they're never going to see supply chain problems here in the U.S. Everybody gets to eat. And I said, look, I've been given instructions, and this is what I was going to do. And
Marjorie, come back. Marjorie, come back. Okay, we are live. We're live with Marjory Wildcraft. Looks like we're having a little bit of some technical issues. There we go. I see her back.
Thanks. Yeah. I've got Starlink, and it's got good connection.
Let me tell you, I get it. I get it. Go on.
So anyway, that's how I got started, was really just out of fear and panic. So if you're in a place where you're really afraid and you're panicked and you're worried and you're concerned, I want to let you know that's where I started. And it's okay. Like, that's a motivation that's being given to you. It's divine. And there are really, really simple, fairly easy solutions. And growing food will heal you on every single level that you can imagine, including all that fear and panic.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so I got to tell you something. So this is kind of funny. In my front yard, so my son, Austin, is that the boy is an off-gridder. He is a sheep herder. He's got wool sheep. He's got sheep and goats that graze the lands in Southern California, fire prevention. He's amazing. He's amazing. I prayed for at least one out of all four in case we needed to go off grid, right? And Austin helped me create a little farm in my front yard. I don't know if it would be a farm, but a grow area. So we thought, well, what's a way to bring community together? And how can we utilize the front yard? I mean, we're San Diego, so it's Southern California. We've got a small little our house is close to $1 million for a box of a house, right? That's just what it's like in San Diego. So we've got a little tiny piece of land out front. What are we going to do with that little tiny piece of land? It's not a big enough piece of land to throw a football back and forth. We were like, well, let's bring in the good soil full of trace minerals. And let me tell you, people thought we were nuts. We had that dumped in the front yard. Austin got the front yard ready, the backyard ready. And then you're unbelievable. People think that we are from Jamaica or South America because we have banana trees in the front yard with real bananas. We've got sugar cane in the front yard, tons of collard greens in the front yard. We've got a bunch of different fruit trees in the front yard. And then Austin did a 3 boxes, like big, long boxes, planters, and that he built up from redwood because he was working with redwood at the time, which is so sweet. We're like, that's really expensive wood to build planters with, but it's amazing. And in there, we grew all kinds of fruits and vegetables. And I'll tell you, it was such an incredible experience. Right now, it's overgrown. It's got to be cut down. We got to go into preparation mode. We've utilized it. And now it's time to kind of reset, rebuild up those trace minerals and nutrients, and then replant in the right time. But I'll tell you what, I didn't think I would be able to do it. And still, I need some help though because of my schedule for someone to come in and help me with that. But Marjorie, it's doable. Like once you get it set up and you make it a priority, it's really doable. So I understand that there's quite a few myths out there. So what is
Mm.
the biggest myth about backyard or front yard food production that you want to debunk today?
Well, first of all, congratulations. I mean, that is it. And really, you don't need a lot of space. You just got to go out there and start doing it. You will be a beacon in your neighborhood. Your son is going to be a leader in the whole community. He will be playing a bigger and bigger role as this whole thing unfolds. So congratulations for raising a boy. And I totally get you. I have one that I love and then one that I'm like really worried about. Anyway, the biggest myth. So most people think, oh, Marjorie and backyard food production, they're thinking gardens. And honestly, the largest calories, and we're going to be talking about calories, fat especially, because and most people are like, oh, I want low cal. I want to. No, 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 no. The calorie is going to become a unit of currency. And there's a big
Wow.
difference between the calories that you're producing in your front yard and the calories in the grocery. The calories in the grocery store are completely empty and they're actually toxic. So there's a huge difference between what you're producing. And it turns out that animal products actually are far more efficient to producing calories, especially deep nutrition. And the most difficult thing to grow in a backyard or a small space is fat, right? There are no fatty vegetables. There's no fatty eggplants, no fatty tomatoes, right? It's a difficult macronutrient, and
Yeah.
it's essential. You need all the myelin in your nerve casings and your brain functioning. You need fat. You need healthy fats. Let's
Oh, yeah.
bust up that whole conversation. I'm sure you've done that before. In fact, when I interviewed people, I went to Cuba to interview the collapse that they had there. Overnight, the Cuban economy like plummeted 60%. The lights went out, the water stopped running.
Gee.
The average Cuban lost 20 pounds. And people told me their faces turned gray and their skin started to peel off because they could
Ooh.
not get any fat. So you want fat. And the best way is to produce, and then the next macronutrient that's difficult to grow is protein. And the most
Can
easiest,
we go back to fat just for a second? Because I want
sure,
to distinguish that. There are different types of fat. There is fat that is so beneficial, and there's other fat that's just not beneficial. Can you distinguish that for us?
sure, the fats that come from animals and that are natural fats, the ones that come from seeds or seed oil or processed, basically if you can buy it in a jar in the grocery store, it's
Right.
probably is not good for you. That stuff it actually, Crisco and all that, that used to be used as a lubricant for machinery before they just
Mm.
started to decide to start giving it to human beings. So the easiest ways to produce fat and protein in a backyard are going to be animals. And I really, really recommend people get started, say, for example, with a flock of chickens. And
My husband's gonna love you. He's just gonna love you. He's gonna love you.
and they're wonderful. By the way, you don't need a rooster. You really don't. Those hens will lay just fine. The hens start laying at about 6 months of age. I really recommend you get those 6-month-old hens. It's so wonderful to raise from baby chicks, but it takes 6 months. It's it's kind of similar, but the skills and systems are different. So I would really recommend go to Craigslist, go to the feed store, find a local farmer and buy some hens that are already about 6 months old and they're laying. And then you just, you build a small chicken coop and a run, which can fit in the size of a parking lot. Uh, you set up some feed. Now there are ways to feed your chickens for free, but in the beginning you have so much to learn and to set up and to get used to. Just buy the chicken feed for now. It's still relatively cheap,
Okay.
right? And then
Okay.
later know that that's going to be the next phase. That'll be phase two. But laying hen will lay about an average of 250 eggs a year. They take a little time off when it's too hot, too cold. They have to change out their feathers. You have 6 of them. That's 1,500 eggs in a year. So for one adult, that's 3 egg omelets every morning for breakfast. You have breakfast handled for
Wow.
the whole meal.
Fat, protein, all the macro and micronutrients. So good.
It's a complete food. And then if
Wow.
you're giving your chickens good, wonderful, delicious, nutrient dense foods, then those eggs are going to be beautiful. So I also recommend a rabbitry. Rabbits used to be a huge, in the 70s when the United States went through so much difficulty. I mean, we thought we were on the verge of collapse back then. Huge proliferation of backyard rabbitries, and that's, largely been discarded now. But rabbits breed like rabbits. They're also a
Mhm.
lot easier to feed than most other livestock. Now, a lot of people are intimidated, like, oh my God, you're going to tell me I have to kill a bunny or whatever. You know, do the chickens first, get that going. Do some gardens. I do recommend some gardens. What you're doing is wonderful. And then look at that at the third component as the rabbits later on. But the animal, let me go back to a garden. Let's assume you have 2 growing seasons. You'll be able to produce somewhere around 30 to 50,000 calories in a garden with 2 growing seasons. Maybe a little more, depending. If you grew the whole thing, maybe in potatoes, you'd get more. Those 6 laying hens laying 1,500 eggs a year, that's approximately 95,000 calories. So right away you
Mm.
can see that. And if you have a home rabbitry, you're going to get 75 to 80 bunnies a year out of that. That's 230,000 calories. So, and out of the rabbits, by the way, the eggs are way more nutritious than most of your vegetables. And then the rabbits, the organ meat is just, and the bones for the bone broth. I mean, there's so much. This is the way your great grandmother used to cook. We used to use every part of the animal. There's so much nutrition in there that's wasted now. You will be blown away by how much healthier you can be. So the biggest myth is that vegetables are going to be the way to go, and it's actually animal products.
Oh, that's incredible. That is so good to know. So, what'd you have for dinner last night, Marjorie?
Actually, rabbit. Yeah,
I had a feeling. I had a
I
feeling
get,
you were
yeah,
going to
I
say
just,
that.
yeah, I like to rotate. I have a farmer friend who has some really wonderful grass-fed beef, and I do that. And then I'm doing ducks right now instead of chickens. I have duck eggs. And I have a very tiny yard. Yeah, I'm still renting. So if you're renting, don't let that stop you, right? I'm renting.
Ooh,
I have,
that's so
I
good
have,
to hear.
I have the farm I want to buy in mind, and I'm watching it, and I'm watching the market and all this other stuff. I will
Yes.
own it, but until then, I'm biding my time. And I've got a little tiny backyard here. So I'm doing the most important things. I'm doing the eggs and the meat here. And then I volunteer and manage the community garden, which is not that big. There's only 6 beds. And, that's where I'm getting my veg from. So there's always a way. There's this thing called shared earth where people who say, hey, I have a yard, but I can't do anything with it, can meet up with people who say, I've got some time. I'm sure there's other websites that do that matching also. There's always a way. Open your heart, say a prayer, and then keep an open mind, and, it'll come to you.
I love it. Oh my gosh. This is amazing. This is really truth bombs, words of wisdom. So I'll tell you what, Marjorie, you've given me some food for thought. And
Absolutely.
and now my brain is going because I'm really beginning to create and I'm thinking, I could actually pull somebody on from a resource like that to help me because I really need a helper in this arena to sustain, to
Mhm.
trim back all of these things. And then I can even just really share it with my community in a better way. And also, I don't have things overgrown that are kind of looking crappy. So you're giving me hope. This is so good. I am inspired
You know,
to take control
I
of my food supply.
a lot of people are like, hey, so and so just got unemployed. So and so. I mean, the unemployment is real, it's massive.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
nowhere near being reported what's actually true. We all know they're lying through their teeth. And there's going to be more and more. We have this AI, we have the robots. There is no doubt that
Yeah.
there is being an onslaught on human activity, right? And I'm like, hey, one person, if you've got let's say a quarter acre yard, your house, your standard subdivision house, one person can easily grow the food for a family of 4 or for 6, every day, right? That could be their job. And the family is going to be so much healthier. Your healthcare costs are going to go way down. You're going to be eating delicious, nutrient dense food. Your enjoyment of life is going to go way up. And somebody in the family has incredibly meaningful work, to be producing the food for the family. What an incredible honor. So, as I said, there's lots of things that you
Yeah.
can do,
Yeah.
and I think
Yeah.
that will become. I had read at one point in time, several hundred years ago, you have the royalty running the world, right? Especially in Europe.
Mhm.
And they would always have
Mhm.
as many kids as they possibly could, right? And they would put some in the clergy and some in the court and some in the military, and you marry off the daughter strategically for
Mm.
this and that and the other. They would save the most intelligent and capable son, of course, because it was back then, to run the family farms,
Well,
because the family
isn't that
farms were
interesting?
the most important thing for the
Wow.
family. So,
That is, oh my gosh, wisdom drops right now. Marjorie, we're going to take a moment to thank our sponsors who made today's Take Your Power Back show possible. And when we return, we're going to have some more truth bombs, and you're going to set us up for our own growing here at home. So stand by. I'm going to pull you back in just a moment. Guys, Marjory Wildcraft, an absolute rock star. I don't know about you, but there's so much news that we all are bombarded with right now that sometimes we can get in a real scarcity mentality. And we're saying, I just I don't even know what to do. So we keep listening to the same news over and over, right? And without a real solution, we get stuck in that victim mentality. Well, I want to let you know that you're not a victim. You are a victor in Christ. God is on our side. No matter what's coming our way, we have the ability to really turn these lemons that we get to grow into lemonade, right? So I want to share one of our sponsors with you. That is an incredible resource. And I'm just gonna, a picture can paint 1,000 words. This is our Freedom Stakes Now resource. And one of our really special sponsors, Patriots, are you ready to fuel your fight for freedom with the best nutrition out there? You heard Marjorie say it. Meat, protein. We need protein, animal protein, right? So introducing Patriots Made Freedom Stakes Now. It's our Freedom Stakes Now resource, sourced with 100% American raised grass fed cattle. These steaks are packed with protein and flavor to keep you strong for the battles ahead. No hormones, no antibiotics, no Zeranol, never, ever mRNA, no nonsense. Just pure patriotic goodness. So I want you guys to go check it out. Go to freedomstakesnow.com. That's freedomstakesnow.com/Kim. What you're going to see there is you're going to have an opportunity to get $50 off your beef every single time you shop. You can do it monthly, every other month. You can take a break, come back. Cost you nothing to do that. And I'm telling you what, best beef you've ever eaten. You're also going to get $100 in free American made products. Now, I got to tell you, I've had beef at Mar-a-Lago. I've had beef at the highest level steakhouses. You may have heard me say this. And I like the beef. It was good, but nothing's like this beef, and nothing's like my ribeyes. Oh my gosh, my brisket. My son will say, Mom, we're going to get someone to take care of the sheep, and I'm coming over for brisket. Or bring the brisket here. So go get your never ever hormone or antibiotic black label beef today. And that's Freedom Steaks Now /Kim. Freedom Steaks Now /Kim. All right, my next sponsor up that I want to say a big thank you to, and actually, I got to correct that. It's not necessarily a sponsor. This is an event. It's the Take Your Power Back California Governor Showdown. This is an event that you want to be at. And I tell people all the time, this is something you don't want to miss, but I don't want you to be in the missing. I want you to be in the getting, that you get to take our California back. You get to join the teams. The Take Our California Back movement looks like this. It is the California Governor Showdown. All of these gubernatorial candidates that share your conservative values that are about giving power back to we, the people. They're all meeting in one place in Southern California on November 8th in San Marcos, California. At Awaken Church, we meet, we share, we debate. We get to debate like Charlie, and I like to say fight like Charlie. And the power's back in your hands because your questions get to be answered. You get to get a clear distinction of that candidate that shares your values. And we know that it's not going to take just that governor. It's going to take every single one of us to take our power back, every single one of us to stand in the gap. This is it, the Take Your Power Back California Governor Showdown. Go get your VIP black tie meet and greet tickets. This is going to be extraordinary. You'll meet the candidates. You'll hear a special message from General Flynn. You've got Lara Logan, Dr. Douglas G. Frank, Tom Cats from Whiskey Town, Outlaw in the USA. We've got some surprises of some famous artists that'll be joining us there. You've got Tammy Kelly, Flags in Motion. Guys, go secure your tickets today. I've been told this is a watershed event. This is a historical event where we, the people, are going to take our California back. TakeOurCaliforniaBack.com. Join us in the fight. How California goes, the rest of the nation will go. And we're committed with solutions to take our California back. Without further ado, we have quite a show for you today, and we are going to welcome back the warrior herself, Marjory Wildcraft, the queen of self-sufficient living. Marjory, come on in to the Take Your Power Back show. Welcome back.
Thank you so much, Kim. I got to say, raising beef is really hard to do in a backyard. So having those kind of connections where you buy your meat elsewhere, I do that. I buy my beef from a trusted farmer. It sounds like you've got a really great deal with these steaks. So
It's
that's
key, right? It's
that's what
key. I mean,
community is
if you've
about
got a
also.
rancher that's local, like
Yeah,
it's a great way to go if you get a rancher that's local. But one of the things that people have got to kind of really ask those questions: if the cow gets sick, are they going to give it antibiotics? And then will they be, are they going to be my feed later on? Right. So
exactly.
I would prefer beef that has no antibiotics. And what I love about this resource is no Zeranol, no antibiotics, never
Yeah.
ever. They pull that cow out and it'll go to the store or to the market, right? And we get just the better beef. So, but if you can get it locally, get it locally. All right, Marjory, are you ready for the next round?
I'm ready for the next round.
All right, so we're going to pop back in. So I'm popping back between screens, so I didn't get to see your beautiful face on that reaction. I was like, oh, she got quiet. She got quiet. She's waiting for her next question. What's going on? All right, so check this out. So, Marjory, I want to just really look at this. All of our lives are so busy. Moms often they're working from home now just to make ends meet. Dads are working. Then we've got kids in sports and then church. And then the schedules are so crazy. So how much can someone realistically produce in their backyard? Like, what's the reality of making it happen in a short time frame? Right?
Yeah.
Making it happen to where you can do life. And how much can someone realistically produce in their backyard? And how much land do they actually need?
Yes, the people are like, oh my God, am I going to turn into a migrant worker?
Exactly.
Yeah, and I got to say, we've been programmed. We've all been programmed. We've all been subjected to this, and every movie you've seen and all the music, it makes the farmer look like an idiot, and I mean, it really just portrays the whole thing as a bad, nasty deal. So growing half of your own food, and in that webinar at Backyard Food Production, I show you that I've cherry picked over the last 20 years of teaching people the 3 easiest ways to produce a lot of food really, really quickly. And it's that garden chickens, rabbits thing. And really, you can do that every morning in about a half an hour. I mean, really, it's very, very
Really?
simple. Now, there'll be an occasional weekend, like what you're talking about. Like, well, the garden's overgrown now. We're going to maybe spend a
Right.
couple of hours on Saturday and hang out with my son Austin, and we're going to pull this all out. We're going to redo it. We're going to add some minerals. So every now and then there's a few, on a weekend, or maybe, okay, I got to clean it. It's been a year. I really need to clean out the chicken coop. I'll turn that into compost. It'll be nutrient, but really a half an hour a day. And what I
Okay.
recommend, what I do, there are so many health people talking now about the importance of getting morning sun, of getting your bare feet on the ground,
Yes,
and
grounding.
being outside even for just 10 minutes or so. So I
Yeah.
love it in the morning after I've done my morning meditation and some morning stretch and a little bit of a morning routine where I'm connecting with the Creator and my spiritual
Yes,
work.
so good.
I then go out and I call it sacred work. I don't call it chores. I don't call it homesteading. It's sacred work. And I take care of the rabbits. I take care of the ducks. I maybe do a little bit of a chore. Like right now, I'm setting up a new water filtration system so that the water they're getting has a higher quality. And I do just a little bit of something in the morning. And I got to tell you, the birds are out and it's wonderful. I'm outside, the sky.
Yes,
So
yes,
it's the best time. It really is the best time. I'm collecting eggs and, just
yeah,
checking on breeding schedules and doing the,
yes.
it's really, really, really delightful work.
It's
It's
so
really wonderful.
healing.
Yeah.
Yes, it's funny, Marjorie. It's this past year, for me going from, take our elections back to take our border back to take our California back, sometimes the days can be very long days, and then having, making sure we've got our shows running and everything edited with the Take Your Power Back show. And I'll tell you, the grounding that makes such a difference for me is, getting that time outside, that sacred time, like you said, because it is sacred. I get to thank God. I see the hummingbirds. I can smell the fresh air. I hear the birds, one of my most favorite sounds in the whole universe, right? And I get to watch my grapes grow. We just harvested so many grapes. I
Oh my
like
God.
cleaned them all up, put them in the freezer. I'm like, I don't have time to make jam, but we're going to put them in the freezer to get them ready, right? And it was so cool because I was able to make the ground water all the ground cherries and then our lavender and our sage and our rosemary. So I was able to just go out there and it felt like sacred work. It grounded me before I would go into my calls, before I would go into setting appointments, working on a project. It kept me connected to the purpose that I've been called to, that it's way bigger than what we're perceiving it to be. Like when we get connected to the maker, our maker who shows us his identity through nature, it is the most grounding experience. So I just thank you for saying that. And you reminded me, Marjorie, that even taking care of my husband, it's sacred work,
It's
you
sacred
know?
work. Growing food for your family. When I was growing food for the family, I really fully understand that I was deeply, deeply nourishing them and providing for them as a woman connected to the earth and connected to the energies. And for me, it was always sacred work, and I loved it. I say that the process of growing food, it will actually improve your health more than just eating the great products. You're
Yes.
outside, you're getting some gentle movements. And I've actually designed some of my systems intentionally. I've just recently, I trained in jujitsu and I hurt my knee. And
Oh,
it's okay though, so I've designed my systems now where I have to do more deep squats. And these are one of the exercises that will heal your knees and have your knees
yes.
be bulletproof, because you want to
Yeah.
have bulletproof knees in your
Sis-
70s and 80s and
Sister,
90s,
I,
right?
I gotta tell you, I am a kickboxer and I hurt my knee. My left knee is hurt right now. So I'm actually going for an MRI for my knee, which I hate doing that kind of stuff. But I think
Mhm.
at this point I need to.
You got to.
And so I'm looking at different ways of doing things and to strengthen the surrounding muscles. I love it.
Exactly. It's the same, so those deep squats, the front
Yes.
lunges, the walking backwards. I mean, there's some real basic PT. And
Yes.
what I'm doing is I'm building it into my lifestyle so that it's not PT, that it's
Yes.
what I do. And I was watching somebody recently on a longevity type thing, and they were talking about the Japanese. There's this area, I think is it Okinawa, where they have the highest concentration of centenarians. And they get up and down off the floor 20, 50 times a day. Right. And I'm like,
Amazing.
okay, well, I'm going to, set up my living room to where I've got a little mats and things, and I'm going to set, that's where I'm going to be eating, and as I said, I've designed a lot of my garden production and backyard food production to where I'm up and down a lot. And I will tell you, in the beginning, it was a whole lot easier going down than up. It's
Yes.
like,
Yes.
and
Yes.
that knee hurt, and I was like, is this now I'm going to tell, it's getting stronger and
Good.
stronger. And it really, there's some really, really, I'm sure when you get into this, your physical therapist or whatever will show you,
Yeah.
there's some really, really simple motions and strengths that we don't have in a modern ultra convenient lifestyle. And I've
Yeah.
just shifted some of this because I like to stack functions, right? So I'm growing food, but I'm also strengthening and flexing my body in
So
ways that
good.
need to have. So this physical vehicle that I've been given, I mean, this is your body is a gift.
That's
You've been
right.
given these
It
things.
is.
You need to take care of it because you want to be clear and capable and able to move when you're 100, right? You want to make it to 100,
That's
you know,
right. That's right.
and
That's right.
you you
So
got to do.
well
That's
said.
my to me like I have 5 values, right? And the number one is my connection to the divine, and that's the first thing I do in the morning. Number two is taking care of my body because this is my expression and my experience in
That's
this
right.
world.
That's right.
Number three is family. Four is community. And the fifth is doing meaningful work. And throughout the day, that's, I've structured my whole life. It makes life very simple. And I structure everything around
And
that.
it's so fulfilling. It's so fulfilling. And those are the little things, Margie. It's funny, as a peak performance coach, I'm doing breakthrough work with clients. A lot of times success for people is I am successful when I've made my first million and I've traveled here and I've attained this. And the question is, well, how often do you experience that success? Well, I'm not there yet. So therefore I don't experience that success. Well, the study is the more you feel success, the more you create success. So the little things, the little tasks that we say, wow, I cared for my body today. That's success to me.
I,
Or I
yes,
watered my garden. That's success to me. Or I brushed my teeth. I combed my hair. Or I made a phone call to check on a community member. Like all of those things, like the 5 core values that you just brought up, it's so great because I can imagine for you when you have accomplished that in a day, how do you feel?
yeah, exactly. I do. I actually have a book that I write down what I want to do in the morning. And then I have a checklist. And I've learned over the years not to put huge, gigantic stuff and put reasonable. I love what you're saying about brush your teeth. Like, I put reasonable things in there.
Yeah.
So that at the end of the day, I go, did I do this? Did I do that? What did I think about? Who did I touch? Who did I help?
Beautiful.
And then I check it off and I do a daily review at the end of the day and I feel good about the day. And even if the things I didn't get done, I'm like, okay, well, I didn't, well, that's because this came up or whatever. And I acknowledge
You
it.
don't beat yourself up, make yourself bad and wrong. You
I,
look at what did I accomplish and fantastic. We'll just roll the other over to tomorrow.
right. And, or, the other thing that came up is something that needed to be done. But I really do end a day on like, today was a successful day and it's not big
Beautiful.
stuff. I love what you're talking about. And like I
Beautiful,
was saying this
Marjorie.
morning, I'm working on getting a new little water filter in place so that way I can upgrade the quality of water that's going to my livestock. And, I just started on that this morning. I'm like, I'm going to put that down in my little checklist.
That's
And
amazing. What a great feeling. Okay, so you're showing us how this can all this it's really a lifestyle. It's a choice that this abundant lifestyle that can produce fruit for generations to come is possible. Now, for someone like you that's living, you're renting, right? So
yeah,
we've got those listeners right now that are living in apartments, smaller spaces. So somebody that is living in a condo or an apartment may not have the outdoor space. What are some tools that you can give them? Maybe some of your green thumb you can share?
yeah. So first of all, let me state again that if you have an intent, you say, listen, I want my body to be healthy and I want to be growing my own food and I'm going to put that out there and I'm just going to say that I'm going to do what I can and I'll give you some real good suggestions for what you can do right in your condo right now. But just say, I want to do this in a bigger way and ask and you will
Yes.
receive, right? There,
Yes.
you are always guided and provided. You'll
Yes.
bump into an old friend at the bank and they'll say, oh, there's this farmer and they could really use some help. And you start going over there once a week for a few hours and you get a box of veg or something. I mean, stuff happens, right? But let's talk about your condo. So there's a lot of the classic. Oh, and I've got a really funny story about asking for help, which is kind of funny. Um, Herbs on a windowsill.
Yeah.
Just start with some basil, mint, chives. Those things are bulletproof. Rosemary. When I mean bulletproof, it means that they're really forgiving for those of us that forget stuff. Try to have them in as big a pot as you can, because the more
Okay.
soil that's in there, the more forgiving it's going to be of your erratic watering schedule.
Uh,
So a little tiny pot like that, you're going to have to water it twice or three times a day. Get a big pot so that you. The other thing is put it somewhere where you're going to be, like in the kitchen. If you put it in the spare bedroom, those plants are dead. Right? Put it in the kitchen, put it in somewhere where you see it all the time. Okay, got to take care of that. And everything you learn from those little plants in a windowsill will be applicable for when you do have a garden or when you're managing acres. And don't tell me, I'm never going to be managing acres, because you have no idea. We are in the apocalypse, my friends, and there's no
yes,
telling what
yes,
you're going to be doing a couple of
yes.
years from now. The other thing, so you can grow, I have a girlfriend, I set her up with quail. And it's a little 3 foot
Mm.
by 2 foot thing where she has like 3 quail cages stacked up, and they produce like 10. She has 10 of them. They produce like 10 quail eggs a day. They're not songbirds, but they're not at all unpleasant. And so she's got egg production going on. And then this is the funny story. So I was like, everybody's like, what are you doing? What can you do in an apartment or whatever? And I'm thinking, what can you do in an apartment? And then my son, who's very entrepreneurial, we found out that he was growing mushrooms in the closet, the psilocybin kind.
Yep,
And
yep,
then we're like, we have to deal with, we deal with that as parents, because that's
yes.
not
Well,
going to
all of
be.
us. I mean, I got one. I
Yeah,
got one.
yeah, we deal with that as parents, and we shut that down, right? And we're like, well, then, and I'm like, you can grow mushrooms in a closet. It doesn't have to be the psilocybin. You can grow, like lion's mane, or you can grow mushrooms.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We did it. Austin built out grow rooms for lions, made a bunch of the mushrooms. It was amazing. There were walk-in rooms.
Uh-huh,
He took like an old trailer tractor,
uh-huh.
built out the inside of the trailer tractor, and those were the grow rooms. Amazing. And then he actually inspired a bunch of local people to go into business. They now have taken that over, and they've turned it into powder, and they sell it. They go to all the farmers markets.
There you go.
Is that crazy?
You can do it in a closet. And
Yes.
there's a wonderful amount of new machines coming out, like the tower garden and the garden tower, and there's all kinds of
Yes.
people that let us grow. There's all kinds
Yes.
of wonderful, like almost automatic type things that have lights, and I'm not as big a fan of that, because I'm like, the less electronics the better. But
Yes.
getting started, like sometimes that's the way somebody who's a little high tech wants to get started. I'm like, just get started.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of options. Just go out and start looking for them, and you'll find them. And mushrooms are pretty substantial. Quail eggs are pretty substantial. A little bit of herb. There's a reason that packet of basil leaves costs like $5 at the grocery store. It's because just a chopped up little bit of basil tossed into your scrambled eggs or your spaghetti or something at the last minute, man, it makes that taste just boom, explode. Like, if you haven't ever experienced the power of herb before, you really have to do it. And you can, instead of buying that $5 packet in the grocery store, go to the nursery and buy the $3 plant and
That's
then grow
right.
the plant out.
That's
So
right.
and when you start getting into that, it's really astonishing to me when I first started doing this, and my family thought I had it was the same recipe, and they thought I had whole new recipes. I was just putting fresh herb on it at the end, and I don't know why, just a little bit of fresh herb really can just make the potency of flavors pop, but
Isn't
it
that the
does.
truth?
It's magical. Yeah.
I love it. Marjorie, this is gold for anyone looking to break free from dependency and grow their own groceries. We'll call them groceries, right?
There you go.
Patriots, you're not going to want to miss the final part of the conversation. Marjorie, we're going to take a moment just to thank our sponsors, but when we come back, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have that conversation. We're going to tap into your expertise on how to get rid of the glyphosate, the chemicals that are in the soil now. So stand by, because I'm going to bring you back in just a moment. Love it, guys. Marjory Wildcraft. I'm learning so much today, and I'll tell you what, this is the conversation that has needed to be had. We scheduled a couple of times, but It's funny because Marjorie said, this problem's not going away right now. So we got a couple weeks and then we can have this conversation. And I think that the timing is so perfect because we've been stuck again in the scarcity mentality, and we're waiting for the next shoe to drop. We're waiting for the next news report, and that's not how we're meant to live. We really do have the ability to take our power back. And that means, looking at life from, well, what's the solution? What action steps can I take today to take my power back? And one of the solutions we're going to look at right now is our Patriots Made solution. I love this. And I have a feeling Marjorie's going to love this too. And she might already know about this. This is our Patriots Made solution. USA Today named our Patriot Made resource the best resource, the best manufacturer for anything USA made. They named them that month after month after month. And I'll tell you what, this resource is a game changer. Let me tell you why. They are the ones that exposed what's happening with Centrum, One-A-Day, Shaklee, Herbalife, a lot of the nutritional companies out there. They actually exposed that vitamins that people are taking, because in most cases, we can't get what we need from our food unless we've got that soil that has the rich, trace minerals and nutrients. They basically found that things like chelate, sulfate, gluconate, fumarate, and oxide, which are attached to most vitamins and minerals at your stores, even online, cause that mineral to crystallize in the intestines. And that not only leaves your needs unmet, it causes inflammation in your body, which is the leading cause of aging and disease. That's a buildup of free radicals. So doing more damage than good. Our Patriots Made resource puts the power back in your hand with a technology that literally turns the lights onto the body, brings inflammation down by 16.7% in 1 hour, guys. It's a game changer. If anyone knows my background in the wellness industry over the past now close to 28 years, we've been able to turn the lights on, turn health situations around, utilizing our Patriots Made resource. Now, another caveat I want you to look at here is your everyday products. We talked about with Marjorie brushing her teeth, right? That's like a necessity, right? So it's, oh yes, success, I brushed my teeth today. But the things we use, brushing our teeth, washing our hair, using deodorant, the sunblocks, the bug sprays, the essential oils, your shampoos, your makeup, your skincare, what you wash your laundry with, all of the things at the stores, in most cases made by Procter & Gamble, Colgate & Palmolive, Johnson & Johnson, Unilever, they all have toxins in them, heavy metals. They have things like formaldehyde. Yes, Dawn dish soap and dryer sheets has formaldehyde, embalming fluid. They put it in dead people and mutates human cells. These products have parabens, alcohol, sulfates, triclosan, quaternary disinfectants. They're toxic. Get them out. Begin to take your power back. Switch to American-made, botanical, bioavailable, just biodegradable, better, safer, less expensive. Switch to American Made. Go to patriotsmade.com. You're going to love the resource. I tapped in 20 years ago. Game changer. And you know what? My team of experts will personally reach out and tailor this to your needs. Go to patriotsmade.com. Go check it out. Reach back. Drop me a text. And I'm telling you guys, you will begin to take your power back. That's patriotsmade.com. Now, last but not least, I want to remind all of my listeners right now, tickets are running out for the Take Our California Back event. So if you're one of those people that lives here in the great state of California and you're like, I am so tired of watching things online, we will be online, but there's nothing like being in person, hobnobbing, connecting with other freedom-loving Californians that are committed to taking the state back. Join us for the Governor Showdown on November 8th at Awaken Church in San Marcos, California. Go get your limited VIP black tie candidate moderator meet and greet, a special message from General Flynn to the VIP crew and to the candidates. And then at the showdown itself, you'll have access us to that as well with another message from General Flynn. Performances by Tom Kaz. Oh my gosh, you guys, he is awesome. Tammy, Kelly, we've got a couple of surprises there for you. Most importantly, you get to hear from your candidates who share your values all in one place, one night. This is the watershed event. We are moving the state of California, and we, the people, are committed to taking this state back. Join us November 8th, and it starts at 5 p.m. Go get your tickets now. TakeOurCaliforniaBack.com. That's TakeOurCaliforniaBack.com. Popping up that picture. You've got Steve Hilton, Louis Herms, Jim Athens, Pastor Che An, David Serpa, Kobe Markham, Leo Naranjo, Leo Zaki. We've got Ryan Tillman. We've got David Kallenberg, Daniel Mercury, and we just brought in a new addition. This is news hot on the press. His name is Steve Sheets. You'll see him on the upcoming flyer. I have a feeling there's another one coming in. Guys, we're not messing around. We're all committed to work together to take this state back. Go get your ticket right now. TakeOurCaliforniaBack.com. That's TakeOurCaliforniaBack.com. I'll see you guys on the other side. I'll be there. I'm so excited. It's going to be amazing. All right, we're going to finish up today's show. And this has been an amazing wealth of information. We have been listening to Marjory Wildcraft, the founder of the Grow Network, an expert in sustainable living. She has inspired every single one of us today to take our power back, letting us know that there might come a time that we just can't get what we need from our grocery stores. We may need to have some food, sustainable food on our land. And even if you're in an apartment, it is possible. So I'm thinking chickens for me. I don't know about you guys, but let's bring her back into the show. Marjory, welcome back to the Take Your Power Back show.
I can't wait to come back to the next show and you're going to have photos of your chickens. I just can't wait.
Yeah,
it's been so fun.
Really am, and I'm so excited. I have to tell you, my husband is like, Kim, okay, this is what he's going to say. He's going to say, okay, Kim, finish up this event. Take a break for a while. Then we can consider getting the house together and getting chickens. Let's get everything in order. That's what he's going to say.
It sounds like you've got a great husband and a good son. And
exactly.
Yeah, good for you.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. So tell me this. You're currently researching ways to remove PFAS. What is it called? PFAS?
Yeah, PFAS, PFAS. The forever
and glyphosates from garden soils.
Glyphosates,
yeah. Can you share why this is so important and what you've discovered through this process?
So I've been teaching people to grow food forever, and people are like, "Well, Marjorie, what do I do?" They're spraying chemtrails, or there's ag overspray. Even if you're not using glyphosate, somebody may be next door, and it just blows in on your stuff. And
right.
what do you do about all this? And for the longest time, I didn't have a good reason. And they're like, "Sure, you get a greenhouse," and and I'm like, and I didn't have a good thing. And I'm on another project with a group of guys, and these guys said, we've got this minerals and microbe thing that you just can apply to your soil, and it'll destroy forever chemicals. They're claiming also that it'll take heavy metals and transmute them into something that's beneficial. And I'm like, blow smoke up my, I don't know, right? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we hear so much stuff, right? Now we don't know what's real and what's not. But we're in this project. I kept running into them, and I couldn't avoid them. So I finally said, well, wait a minute. This is a time to do and to act and to try. So I built a couple of garden beds, and it's very, very easy to get contaminated soil. It's called shit soil.
What's it called?
Shit soil.
Like S-H-I-T, shit soil? Yeah. You're going to love that one. Don't get the shit soil.
Every single municipality in the United States, and probably most of the world, they take the solid waste matter from the sewage. They compost it very lightly. There's not much done to it. They turn around and bag it up, and they sell it to you as organic soil.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. The EPA has been condoning this for decades. They know about it. They've done tests on almost every single municipality's output. They all have forever chemicals. They have everything that people flush down the toilet, and they sell it bagged. In Austin, it's called Dillo Dirt. In Milwaukee, it's called Milagranite. In Oregon, I think it's called Organicite or something like that. It has all these nice sounding names.
How
Here, I'm in Puerto
deceptive.
Rico. It's called Majestic Garden. These, and it's fully condoned by the EPA, and it's absolutely loaded with toxins. I mean, just incredibly loaded with everything that gets flushed down the toilet, and they sell it in those big trailer trucks to farmers. Actually, sometimes they just give it away to the farmers because they have so much of it. So that's another reason that the commercial food supply is absolutely toxic. I believe this is even allowed in the organic standards. So you can't, the food supply is, like, I'm going to say it again, it's completely toxic. You have to work with people that you trust, and you have to grow your own food. We're really down to it. Now, for the longest time, I didn't have anything, just do your best to avoid that. Yeah, chemtrails are a thing. We're all, but everything's getting sprayed with chemtrails. But then, so I built this garden bed, and I bought this toxic soil, and I treated one bed with this minerals and microbes kit they have, and then the other bed I just left. And I was, again, I'm always moving, right? I'm renting, and in the market here is crazy. So almost every 6 months I have to move, which is really hard when you're a prepper and you have a bunch of
Wow.
stuff. But so I only treated that bed for about 2 months. I did it every other week, so it had 4 treatments. And then I sent in the soil samples, and I said, well, testing is really expensive. I said, let me just test for the forever chemicals, because I don't believe the heavy metal. Yeah, I don't, whatever. And we sent to pay
We've got
established,
Marjory
right?
Wildcraft with us. Marjory, we just lost you for a second. Come on
Oh,
back in. There we go.
well, I was just saying, I had it tested at a
Yes.
certified, accredited, the largest lab in the United States, and absolutely, it just it destroyed forever chemicals. It also contains, there are 4 microbes that are known to destroy glyphosate, and those microbes are in this kit. So I've been working with those guys to package it up. The business they run is not that organized, so I said, let me get this kit together, and we call it the Soil Minerals and Microbes Kit. And the way to find out about it and the way to get access to everything is to go to backyardfoodproduction.com. I have a 45-minute webinar. It goes fast. And I show you exactly what that chicken coop needs to look like, that garden looks like, what crops produce the most calories. And it's very quick. And then we also have links in there for how to get the soil detox kit. And you can absolutely grow clean food. And the more I work with those minerals and microbes, it's just like in this small yard I'm here, I've got my ducks. If you've ever had ducks, they are prolific poopers. I mean,
Yes,
they
they are
they far
everywhere.
exceed chickens everywhere,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And normally this thing should be stinking to high heaven within just a week of that.
Mhm.
It's really a small yard, but I'm using these minerals and microbes, and they just turn that stuff into soil so quick. There's no smell at all. Like, people don't know I have any life. I'm the same with the rabbits. There's no odor at all, because these minerals and microbes are just turning all that immediately into
Wow.
good healthy soil. And it's
That's
got,
amazing.
90 minerals in it. So, and those
Ah,
minerals that you're missing, and those microbes. Did another thing where I had 2 pans of the soil. They were 8-inch deep and 2 by 2. And I was going to do specifically a test for glyphosate on this. We didn't end up having the money to pay for the test, but I'm watching the things as I'm applying. And the one bin, I'm here in Puerto Rico, rainy season, rains almost every day.
uh-huh,
And
uh-huh,
the
uh-huh.
one bin that had been treated, the soil looks really nice, and I'd had them in big pans so I could collect the water. And there's almost no water in the bottom. And then the other bin has the soil in it, and then the water level, it's like almost drowning. And I'm like, whatever those microbes are doing, they're handling water really, really efficiently, and that soil's super healthy. Whereas this other one, it's just kind of like dead drainage stuff. So The more
Wow.
I use it, the more amazed I am, and I just can't wait
Wow.
until I get my own farm where I can do some more longer term
I love it. So
studies.
can we get those minerals? Do we go to backyardfoodproduction.com? You'll give us instructions on how to do all
Yep,
of this, right?
yep. I go to backyardfoodproduction.com. That's the easiest
Wow.
way. It's a free webinar. It goes fast, super impactful. If you've loved the information here today, you're going to love that webinar. And then we'll also have the information on how to get the minerals and microbes soil detox kit. We'll also give you all kinds of stuff in an email sequence, like on how to grow 100% of your chicken feed for free, or all kinds of resources on how to feed rabbits for free. So, again, that's phase two, but we'll get you
Wow.
the information now. You can put it on a
Yes.
folder. You can have it, because we never know when that whole internet thing going down is going to happen.
That is a good point. Backyardfoodproduction.com. That's backyardfoodproduction.com. Gosh, Marjorie, you have given us so much to think about and act on today. I love your passion. I love your self reliance, God reliance, and sustainable living. I love the ideas. I love what you're doing. I love how you've made it practical for us. I mean, this is contagious. I'm so excited. Like now I'm like, I really feel like, okay, so I've got, 3.5 weeks for this event. What can I do to sow my seeds alongside this event so that I'm growing at the same time right now
Right.
and just implementing some of this? So I want to say thank you for empowering us to take our power back through growing our own food. Are there any final thoughts or a call to action for our freedom loving patriots before we close out today's show?
I just want to say that I got into this from fear and panic. This will heal you on every single, the physical level, the deep nutrition, the emotional level. You won't care if the stores are closed. People who eat higher quality food score higher on intelligence tests.
Yes.
And growing food, like you're working directly with your hands, with forces of creation, magical things are going to happen. This will heal. It's such a simple, humble thing, right? And when I got into it, I was like, oh God, please look like me. No, it's such a wonderful
It's
activity. You've
amazing.
been programmed to believe it's all crazy. Overcome that programming and just do it. Doing something proactive right now is so important in these times where we're overwhelmed with bad news. So anyway, backyardfoodproduction.com.
Amazing. Come on, Marjory Wildcraft, backyardfoodproduction.com. Hey, Marjorie, thanks for putting in all the hard work for us. And thank you for providing the resources so that we can really take our power back and be prepared for what's to come or what's not to come. We'll have everything in place. So I love that. You're a blessing, and I'm excited to reconnect again. Thanks for being with us on the Take Your Power Back show.
All righty. Bye.
All righty. Hello to Puerto Rico. Amazing. God bless you. Enjoy your ducks. Come on. Come on. Marjory Wildcraft. It's funny. I was sharing with my husband today's show, and he's like, what a cool name, Marjory Wildcraft. I'm like, I know. He's like, is that real? I forgot to ask her, is that real? That's a great name. She's from the wild, and we're taking the wild, wild west back here in California. So, guys, let's take our power back. Tap on in to the resources shared with you today. This has been an incredible episode. And a huge thank you to Marjory Wildcraft for showing us how to reclaim our independence by growing our own food, our own groceries. So if you're ready to start your journey to self-sufficiency, head to backyardfoodproduction.com for Marjory's free webinar and check out the grownetwork.com for a treasure trove of resources. This is your time to take your power back, whether it's in your backyard, your kitchen, or maybe for those of you that are in the state of California, go get that good food, go plant that good food, and at the same time, take care of your ballot box. Vote no on 50. Vote no on 50. This gerrymandering, this geopolitical shifting that they're doing, guys, do not let them deceive you. Right now, there are people that went down to a couple of the local business offices, state-run offices here in San Diego, and literally there were signs up saying vote yes to 50. No, vote no on 50. It takes away your power, your rights, your freedom. Vote no on 50. We've got people like Urson Russell, patriotsforce.com, organizations that are really fighting this. We the People, California, are going to the Capitol right now. We've got to speak up and say no more gerrymandering, Newsom. And behind the scenes, guys, they planned this out before they even spoke about it. So we're saying no on 50. And go plant your food. Go get your ducks. Go get your tickets. Go get Marjory Wildcraft's backyardfoodproduction.com and go to the grownetwork.com to get all the resources. And don't forget and remember to join us for the Take Your Power Back California Governor Showdown on November 8th. Go get your tickets now. TakeOurCaliforniaBack.com. Together, we will restore our elections. Together, we will give power back to the parent. We will protect our children, protect our water, protect our agriculture, take our funding back, give power back to we the people in this golden state. It's time. Go to takeourcaliforniaback.com. And for those of you that have enjoyed today's show, keep up on our shows. Go to takeyourpowerbackshow.com and keep freedom alive. Be one of our sponsors. Make a donation. Listen, I got to tell you, your donation matters. It's because of the freedom-loving patriots that drop $5, $10, $50, even the $1,000. It makes this show possible. Back-end fees, the time it costs, guys. I want to keep this show alive, and I can do that with your support. Go to takeyourpowerbackshow.com and support our patriotsmade.com, our freedomstakesnow.com, and of course, Mike Lindell. My promo code is Kim, My Pillow. Go get your My Pillow sheets and your pillows. I love my pillows. Go support our sponsors. We love you, and get what you need to be fueled up to plant in your backyard. Go to Marjory's resources. Now, with that being said, I love you guys. So grateful for you. You can find us on Rumble. You can find us on X, on really all of your favorite podcast platforms, Facebook and Instagram as well, Apple Play. Go there, check it out. Take Your Power Back Show. And with that being said, I'm going to see you next week, same time, same place for the Take Your Power Back Show. I love you. God bless you. And may God continue to remind you to stand firm. Let nothing move you. Always give yourself fully to the work of the Lord, for your work of the Lord is not in vain. God bless you, my freedom-loving patriots. I'll see you on the other side. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Boom.
Thank you for joining us for the Take Your Power Back show. As Peak Performance Breakthrough Coach Kim Yater speaks to other freedom-loving Americans that are making a positive impact in the world by standing in truth amid adversity. Listen in weekly and learn how to take your power back in your freedom, in your personal and professional life, in technology and creativity, and in your faith. Be encouraged, be inspired, be transformed as you step into your power and take action in your leadership and allow your voice to be heard. Together, let's take your power back. To sponsor and support the Take Your Power Back show, go to takeyourpowerbackshow.com. That's takeyourpowerbackshow.com and take your power back.